Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
You know, here's a funny story. Freeware, software that didn't cost anything, that doesn't cost anything, is what has drawn me deeper and deeper into the world of Apple, their platforms. I've been running the live video feed through a Mac Mini for about a year now. I've had to reboot the Mac Mini, mind you. But the reason why I chose the Mac to run the live video feed at live.pirillo.com through ustream.tv's service, which is free, by the way, is because of a couple pieces of software. Cam Twist, freeware, that allows me to add video effects like parsing RSS feeds, which is what our topic is based on. Allows me to integrate live weather from weatherbug.com, one of our sponsors, as you can see, one of our partners, including the rotating logos of our partners like GoDaddy.com, and then our live chat. The live chat, by the way, that's a live screen capture of a free program, a free IRC client called Colloquy. At least I think that's how you pronounce it. Freeware. And knowing that I couldn't find Windows equivalent software, even shareware, I said, you know, this is it. This is good. This works. This runs. I can connect this FireWire camera, audio and video, into the Mac, and without a problem, no hiccups. Everything just kind of works. So when it came time for GnomeDex, my annual conference, I knew I needed a Mac to bring with me because I wanted to stream it. In order to stream it, I need to have a Mac because I needed the software. So I found a couple of sponsors, legit.com and blueskyfactory.com, and they helped us acquire a couple of MacBooks to take with us to GnomeDex, where we streamed live. Then the iPhone came out. Didn't want one. Didn't think it was a good idea. Thought it was just another device. I was proven wrong. One of the best consumer electronics devices I have ever owned. I've been using Microsoft products for years. I grew up with DOS. Grew up with Windows. Been using Windows for years. But it's time. Tonight, what started with freeware has now culminated in me ordering a Mac Pro. Do I not look happy? I am. I'm thrilled. Believe you me. I did the Mac Pro happy dance earlier after I ordered it. But this is a big change. Huge change. I'm not saying that everybody's got to go out and switch, because believe me, it's been years in the making. Bought my first Mac a few years ago when I was still living in San Francisco. I walked into the Palo Alto store and actually shook Steve Jobs' hand. He was there that day. I've also met Woz. I had him speak at GnomeDex 4 a few years ago. I've also met Bill Gates. It is a big deal, but it's a big deal to move your entire existence over to a different platform. Different things to worry about. I mean, I know the software's there. Most certainly the software's there. I love the software on Mac OS X. I love it. I don't have to worry about downloading spyware or viruses. But Chris, what about all those legacy apps that run in Windows only? Let me go back to the sponsors for a second. I approached a few of them and said, this is what I plan on doing when Apple releases the new Mac Pros, which they have done, based on the Intel's 45 nanometer process. I went to plask.com, Plasq.com. They make Sketch. There's the logo for Sketch right there. It's an easy, to call it a screenshot app doesn't do it justice. Try it if you have a Mac, and I'm sure if you already have a Mac, you already know about Sketch. If not, try it. They also make Comic Life, which I've been raving about for years. They released a version of it for Windows recently as well, so Windows or Mac users can make comics out of their digital photos. Trust me, You have to try it. And after you try it one time, I guarantee you'll register it. I guarantee. Not an app like it on the planet that is half as much fun or half as usable. And plus, it's clean. It's a great interface. I also went to advertisehereforever.com and asked if they would support, and they said yes. VMware Fusion. VMware has a product for the Mac called VMware Fusion that allows you to run virtual machines. I've been using this for many months. I can run Windows right there on top of my Mac desktop. I do it on my MacBook Pro. Works great. I could run Vista or XP or really any operating system that can run inside a virtual machine, which is about any operating system. Apple has just announced the ability to run Mac OS X Server inside of a virtual machine, which means I can run a virtual machine of Mac OS X inside of Mac OS X. So I can do testing and whatnot in a contained environment. They're all helping make it possible for me to make this move. I'm going to be doing more screencasts thanks to ShinyWhiteBox.com, another partner of mine. And you see their logo floating through. They make a couple of products, Stomp and iShowU. I would use iShowU to save high-quality versions of the screencast. And then Stomp for video effects processing. You have not, and I did a video on this a few months ago when they first came on as a partner. They allow you to edit video and add filters to it and change it and crop it. There's no easier way to do it on either Windows or the Mac or even Linux for that matter. When I saw it, I jumped out of my skin. I was just, whoa, it's amazing. Amazing. And this doesn't change a thing. As far as you're concerned, doesn't change a thing. I'm still going to talk about Windows. Still going to talk about Mac. Still going to talk about Linux. Still going to talk about tech, hardware, software, gaming. You name it. I'm still the same geek. But if you ask me what I'm running on my desktop, I'm running Windows on my desktop, and I will be running Windows on my desktop. It's just Windows is going to be inside a virtual machine that happens to be sitting atop Mac OS X. So, nothing changes. I ordered the Mac Pro tonight, and in the process, saved about $1,000. Configured a Mac Pro that normally would have cost $5,500. I got it for about $4,500, legally. You can do the same thing. This is how you do it. It's no secret. Apple has something called the Apple Developer Connection, and for about $500, you can sign up, get access to their seeding program, you get access to some certain marketing materials, assistance, tech support, like dedicated tech support, incidents, just I think a limited amount of them. It's not unlimited through this. But more importantly, you get the tools that will help you build software on OS X, which I'm looking forward to doing. I'm going to try my hand at building something on top of OS X. So I signed up for $500. This also entitled me to a discount, a one-time discount in Apple's store online. I configured a Mac Pro and saved $1,000 after spending $500, which means Apple pretty much gave me a $500 coupon. It cost me $500, but I saved $500 at the end of the day. I came out ahead. Apple's certainly happy, I'm sure. That's a substantial amount of money to save. And the computer is no slouch. In fact, I've already nicknamed it Big Mac because it's beefy, which I realize is somewhat ironic considering Big Macs don't contain beef. They contain soy patties of some kind. And even soy is questionable in a Big Mac. Two 3.2 gigahertz quad-core Intel Xeon processors, an NVIDIA GeForce 8800 GT 512 megabytes card, which will support both of these 32-inch monitors with dual-link DVI ports. A terabyte 7200 RPM serial ATA, 750 gig 7200 RPM serial ATA, so 2 hard drives. A couple of other things, including a regular old super drive, Airport Extreme, wireless mouse, keyboard, Final Cut Express I've been wanting for a while, and then 2 gigs of RAM. You can configure your Mac Pro up to 32 gigs of RAM. The operating system loves it. Go ahead. Try using more than 2 gigabytes of RAM with your version of Windows. I'm guessing you probably have a 32-bit version of Windows, which isn't 64. And 32-bit versions of Windows, they can pretty much only handle 2 gigs. 3 kind of, 4 really kind of, not really, but kind of, versus 32. And software that just kind of works. It's compatible. So I did it the right way. You know, I'm not jumping ship. This has been a long time coming. I'm still going to have PCs around here, still going to be running Windows. I've got products from OEMs, from manufacturers who create systems for people to buy. But I don't necessarily have their computer. I have their products. I'm going to have PCs around here through various sponsorships. So I'm not abandoning it whole hog. It's just a balancing act. I just feel that I'm going to be able to get more accomplished inside of OS X on a regular basis. It's fun to use. It's easy. Is it perfect? No. No. Am I a fanboy? No. Have I completely forgotten about Microsoft? No. I support each company based on the things that they do, based on the products they create. It's not about one or another. It never has been and it never will be. I'm not that kind of geek. So don't be surprised if another sponsor comes along. It's like, wait a minute, don't you use Apple and they don't, create Apple products? Hey, if they're supporting our efforts here, helping people, it's what it's all about. Doesn't matter if it's helping people with Windows, OS X, Linux, hardware, software, internet. I mean, it's a big universe of technology here, right? I enjoy it all. And I know, even if you think I'm crazy for doing this, at least I've told you how you can save money if you ever wanted to buy a Mac Pro. And $4,500, I mean, minus the $500 that I'm going to get other stuff with, it's a really good price for what I got. I am going to have to buy the RAM elsewhere, though, because that's one thing, another tip I should give you: don't buy your RAM through Apple. Don't do it. In fact, it's questionable for you to even buy the cinema displays. The only reason why you would is just because you love seeing the Apple logo, which obviously I don't. I don't know where I'm going to be buying the RAM from. I don't know if I'm going to stick with 2, which I'm not likely to do. I don't know if I'm going to go to 8, 16, or 32 gigs. Don't know where I'm going to buy it. Don't know how much it's going to cost. Don't know if I'm going to be able to find a sponsor specifically for the RAM inside of the Mac Pro. So that's still kind of up in the air. I've got 2 to 3 weeks to figure out what I'm going to do with that, since that's how long it's going to take for this thing to ship and come to me and everything. They've got to assemble it and whatnot. I'm going to be adding what would you call it? It's not a PCI card necessarily. See if I've got it. Newer Tech, they're the people that make that hard drive enclosure that I was raving about a couple weeks, has an eSATA extender cable. Boana sent this over to me, and I was grateful for it. It's not a PCI card. It takes up a slot, or an area for a slot, and then the cables run to eSATA connectors inside. So now I can connect eSATA drives, which is great because it offers more performance for external hard drives compared to FireWire or USB. And it's only this little add-on is only like $25. It's like, oh yeah, I'll do that for better performance. Yeah. This is exciting. I mean, I was live streaming the whole ordering process earlier, and people were having fun. I'll be live streaming when I actually get the Mac Pro. I'm sure people are going to be asking questions up and down, wanting to see inside, wanting to know my experience, and yes, I'll share it with you. No doubt about it. I am not going anywhere. Nothing, well, I can't say nothing changes. Things change. Are you going to see more Mac-related content? Maybe. Depends on the kind of top 5 list you guys submit. Depends on the kind of stuff that I find interesting. I mean, there are certainly things that I talk about that are platform neutral all the time. I just love technology. And I know I wanted to explain my whole reasoning further. The 50 reasons I'm making the switch are going to be posted to my blog, chris.pirillo.com. Certainly more sponsors are going to come aboard, and the logos will continue to rotate through. They've been very supportive of my efforts. And honestly, the community has as well. I've seen a lot more people warm up to the idea of buying a Mac in the past year than I ever had before. And I think it's largely because of what's happening inside the world of Windows, more than anything. More than Apple really doing well with the iPhone, with OS X, with their hardware. I think it's more of what I've been dealing with Windows. There's already rumblings of Windows 7 right around the corner. Haven't even released Vista Service Pack 1, but they're already saying, no, it's going to be completely different from Vista. Would I ever switch back to Windows? Maybe. Not going to rule it out. It's a possibility. If you make a better product, I'm interested. I still love Microsoft as much as I love Apple. Much as I love any company, really. Much as I love any company that lets me do things that I want to do. I respect each company, and they're different companies, by the way. Apple is closer to an HP than it is a Microsoft. They're just companies with different goals, different mission statements, different ethos. So I guess I'm going Mac. Still have PCs floating around here. Don't worry about that. I am happy. I may not look it, but I am. It's just a lot to take in. And it will continue to be that way for a while. So don't think I've become a Mac fanboy. Don't think I've become a total Microsoft basher, because nothing can be further from the truth. In fact, Microsoft has been one of the most supportive companies of my efforts over the years. I will give them credit for that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to be running Microsoft Office on my Mac. No doubt about it. I love it. I love what they did with the new version of Office for the Mac. Love it. Love it. Don't have it yet, but I like what I've seen. Enough to say, yeah, I want to run that. Of course, if you didn't want to go that route, you could obviously download like Neo Office for Mac OS X, which is an open source Office suite. Not as extensive, certainly, as Microsoft Office, but any old way. I've been dealing with a lot of operating systems for a lot of years. This is it's a big change, but it's really kind of been a long time coming. Just don't be a hater, please. If anything, maybe you got a few tips and suggestions for me. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. I have I've got a blog post I did a couple months ago, the top 100 Mac apps that I thought were the top 100, and it's a good list. It's a solid list. Other people have appreciated that as well. So I know enough about it to know that that's where I want to be. I've been using it enough to know that's where I want to be. This is a very informed decision. I know I've made this kind of recommendation in using the products. Other people have purchased Macs based on me just using it and talking about it. They've purchased their own and made the switch, and I hadn't even fully done it yet. I'm never really going to fully do it. Ponzi's not going to be switching. She's still using the world of Windows. She's fine with it. It's fine. I'm just looking for the best that's out there, or what I perceive is the best out there. Not a fanboy. I'm just a geek. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Am I crazy? Am I not crazy? Should I get 8, 16, or 32 gigs of RAM? What other things do I need to be looking into? Other products inside this world of Apple that I may or may not know about. Products that are technology independent. Or maybe something that can only be done perfectly well inside of Windows that can't be done in Mac OS X. Let me know. I'll be interested in taking a look, taking a listen. I'm open-minded, believe you me. You will never find a more open-minded geek. Ever. So with that, I'm going to invite you over to our chat room, which is open 24 hours a day. We're typically talking tech, sometimes about Mac stuff, sometimes about Windows, talking about trends, news, products, reviews. You never really know what's going to happen, even this late at night. Hundreds of people have been tuning in, watching us record videos, watching me order a shiny new Mac, talking about this stuff, because we're all wrestling with these same issues. But you are welcome to join us, even if it's to say hi, answer a few questions, ask a few questions. We're there 7 days a week and open on holidays. Even if I'm not in front of the computer here, I'm doing something else, sometimes even streaming from somewhere that's nowhere near this desk. But the one website where you can find me and the rest of us, this community, is one place and one place alone. live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.